Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I hope you brought some toast because this video is going to be one hot jam. I've got three things to discuss. I'll be starting with the story having to do with Ripple pulling an exit scam. You know, it's just a rug pull. And all sorts of these things, they actually do happen in crypto. Where a project will start, and then the people that are running the project, they pull all the profits and they skedaddle, they're off. So in the case of Ripple, what would that look like? It would look like them selling all of their XRP, flooding the market, them taking their profits, and then moving on. And so obviously this is nonsense. This is not going to happen, but I want to talk about it because it's an interesting thought exercise. And this all stems from a short conversation all up on the Twitters. And a Ripple employee actually jumped in and was making pretty damn clear how ridiculous the concept is. I've also got this article from you today, titled Ripple vs. SEC. Here's when William Hinman's deposition may take place. And third will be this story from you today. Man who lost $378 million Bitcoin fortune in landfill plans 12-month search. So wait to hear the specifics, but I'll tell you right now, digging through trash extensively to find $378 million worth of Bitcoin. That's crazy, but it's so much money that, I don't know, maybe it's not that crazy. Maybe I'd do it too. I'd hang out in trash for a year for that much money, right? All right, I do want to clear at the outset, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And so you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a fun hobby, but that's all that's going on here, damn it. And if you don't like it, you can get out. So here's the Twitter thread in question. Ripple pulling a scam. No. And it was brought up by an account called Bitcoin SV. Of course, Bitcoin SV, or BSV for short, is a cryptocurrency. It is a fork of the Bitcoin blockchain. And so here, just the other day, you can see this account decided to pick on Ripple and XRP spouting nonsense to the public. So I wrote the following. Maximum XRP supply, 100 billion. That part's true. Total XRP currently held by Ripple, 6.2 billion. Total XRP distributed publicly, 46.1 billion. Total XRP escrowed, 47.6 billion. And then you wrote hashtag scam alert, hashtag exit scam. So this is nonsense. And somebody named Jono saw this and wrote, what scam is that? So he wasn't picking up on what Bitcoin SV was putting down here. And Bitcoin SV wrote the following, because not very good at logic, as you shall see. The majority of XRP was up for grabs to the developers before anyone had the opportunity for free. This creates a centralized asset with Ripple capable of cashing all XRP for real cash, which would result in value plummeting to almost $0 instantly, leaving buyers effed. That's over 50% of all XRP held by Ripple, and they paid for nothing. Those who paid real money for XRP are at the mercy of a failing asset. It's extremely vulnerable right now, with XRP dropping below 70 cents fast. This is rather suspicious with no sights of recovery. So XRP is provably just moving in terms of price action, moving with the rest of the asset class. So that's a silly assertion right there. It's certainly not a failing asset. In fact, it's one of the only cryptocurrencies used today in commercial production, enterprise-grade software. How's your Bitcoin SV looking there? Not so hot. Less adopted, right? Not worth as much either. And so Matt Hamilton, Ripple employee, jumped in and wrote the following. How much did everybody pay for their BSV? Ooh, good question, right? Because look, I mean, the way forks work, and so presumably would be the case here, is, you know, if you, well, for instance, I know if you had Bitcoin on a specific date when the initial fork happened with Bitcoin Cash, then you got an equivalent amount of Bitcoin Cash. That's my understanding anyway. If I'm misspeaking, please just correct me in the comments below. But that's my understanding. So I believe that was also true with Bitcoin SV. So some people got it for free and some didn't here. But what's interesting is that, yeah, Ripple got a bunch of XRP gifted to them, but it wasn't worth anything. It's like, oh, those greedy Ripple XRP holders, how can those folks at Ripple be so greedy? Yeah, that's right. They had a ton of an asset that was worth $0.00. So greedy. It wasn't until people later decided to speculate on it in exchanges that Ripple's previously $0 asset became worth something, right? And, Ripple couldn't make people speculate about, in terms of XRP price action on open exchanges. They couldn't make it. People did that because they wanted to, and we're going to blame Ripple for that? That doesn't make any damn sense. That does not make sense. And so then Matt Hamilton also wrote the following. If you believe in proof of work, then you are already trusting that parties don't want to economically harm themselves. So why do you think Ripple would want to economically harm themselves? And that's a very good point. Of course they wouldn't want to harm themselves. And then look, mind you, the vast majority of Ripple's XRP is in escrow, and $1 billion gets released every single month. And then Ripple's been selling, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood, I think like 100 million. I have to go double check, but like 100 million out of the billion. So 10, or is that, yeah, right. So like 10% of it. But the rest of it just gets locked up, and it gets put at the tail end of the rolling escrow contracts. So they can't just flood the market with half of the XRP in existence. It's not possible. It's locked up cryptographically. Ripple cannot do that, right? So let's say that they did flood the market with $1 billion. And then maybe they do it a second month in a row. And they're just like, yeah, we're just going to sell all our XRP. We no longer believe in the project. We don't think that XRP's got a long-term future. We're just going to sell all of it that we can every single month. Here's the interesting thing. They wouldn't be allowed to, I don't think. What would probably happen is that the community that gets to vote, because there are how many validators? I think they're like 152 validators, and so Ripple runs like 6%. So Ripple doesn't have any special permissions over the ledger. It's decentralized. So if you get 80% of validators together, if they agree, they could actually burn all of Ripple's holdings. If they believe this is a bad actor and Ripple's no longer acting in the interest of the XRP community, they could absolutely get together and vote and actually burn Ripple's XRP. And so it's not the case that Ripple would be allowed by the community to exit scam. I wouldn't even call, like, Ripple can sell whatever they want to sell. I wouldn't even call it a scam. But if they're not acting in good faith, they wouldn't. Now, mind you, they wouldn't do this in the first place, because that would hurt them. Why would they ever consider, damaging the XRP ecosystem when that harms them? So that doesn't make any damn sense. So people are not thinking sufficiently logically here. And then you might think, well, what's up with XRP? How is it that you can vote to, burn somebody's holdings? That doesn't make you feel very safe. Well, if you're one of those people that thinks that, you just need to understand the nature of a decentralized system is such that, it's only decentralized insofar as the participants within the space agree to abide by a certain code that is in place, and the rules associated with it. And so there is an amendments process. Things can be changed. And so that is part of the system. And so, you might think, well, how is that even safe? Like, what maybe I just want my money in dollars. I don't want to be in crypto anymore. Well, I'd say, okay, the United States dollar is getting printed into oblivion. So, like, you're not going to technically get certainty anywhere. But if you're acting in good faith, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, you got to understand, like, these validators, they don't want to erode trust within the XRP community, so they're not just all willy-nilly going to go burning people's XRP. But if somebody's acting not in good faith and over 80% of the validators agree, yeah, okay, something might happen then. But all of this is highly unlikely. It's technically possible, but very unlikely. This guy just doesn't freaking know what he's talking about here, this Bitcoin SV guy. And so I wrote the following. Ripple was gifted XRP when it was literally worth $0. They had no way of knowing if it might be worth something ever. That's up to speculators in open markets. It has nothing to do with centralization. Having a specific quantity of XRP does not give the holder special permissions. You use the word centralized when what you really mean is concentration. Very different. And unfortunately, Bitcoin SV did not respond to me or Matt Hamilton. So it was a very short thread, but there's still already enough ideas to talk about here. I found it fascinating, so I wanted to share this all with you. But that's what we're working with here. Into the next piece now. Ripple versus SEC. Here's when William Hinman's deposition may take place. Lawyers representing distributed ledger company Ripple and individual defendants, CEO Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larson, have informed Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn that the deposition of former lawyer William Hinman has been rescheduled for July 19th. A party that requests a deposition has to give written notice to every other party involved in litigation, and that mentions the place and time of the testimony. So there we go. We got a little update on when this might actually be happening. We are still waiting on a ruling from the judge, but according to Jeremy Hogan, Attorney Jeremy Hogan, it's probably going to pass here. And so we shall see here. And then there was this from you today. Man who lost $378 million Bitcoin fortune in landfill plans 12-month search. This is wild stuff here, man. A UK man plans to search through 400,000 tons of garbage on a 200-meter squared landfill to finally find his missing hard drive that contains 275 million pounds, or about $378 million worth of Bitcoin, the Sun reports. James Howells, who has been desperately searching for his crypto riches since 2013, wants to deploy AI-powered scanners, X-ray scanners, and other high-tech tools. The IT specialist claims that his ambitious plan has received financial backing from a hedge fund, which will lay claim to a portion of the mammoth sum. He has been in contact with some of the best data recovery experts in the world. And here's a quote. For the past 4 or 5 months, I've also been talking to some of the best data recovery experts in the world to make sure we can get it off the hard drive. Now, Hall's countless efforts to convince the Newport City Council to assist him in searching for the lost Bitcoin fortune were in vain. His latest attempt was to offer 25% of the total sum, but it also resulted in another rejection. A spokesperson for the council told The Sun that digging up would involve heavy expenses and significant environmental risks, but there's no guarantee that the hard drive will be discovered. And here's a quote. Even if we were able to agree to his request, there is the question of who would meet the cost if the hard drive was not found or was damaged to such an extent that the data could not be recovered. So there you go. I mean, I feel for people like this in this position, because you can imagine if they're mining Bitcoin or were gifted Bitcoin back in the day when it was, can you imagine like 2011 era? And it's just magic internet money that nobody's using. It's easy to just like forget about, this is probably going to be nothing. But then years later, like, oh my God, this is truly life-changing money. So it would be the coolest story on the planet if this guy actually got his hard drive and was able to retrieve the funds. That would be awesome. But the odds of that, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical that you could actually pull that off. Because think about, my gosh, how much trash for how long now? I mean, maybe we could narrow it down to where stuff was being dumped like back then, if he knows like about when the hard drive would have been thrown away. But man, that's got to be like, that's an insane task. It's an absolutely insane task. I get it. It's such a high value amount right now. Like and it's only going to be worth more, I suspect anyway, as time passes. So I understand. But my gosh, would you guys do it? Would you want to go sifting through garbage, other people's garbage, for 12 months to maybe have a fortune? Maybe. I can sympathize. Maybe I would. Maybe I would. It'd just be a shame if you do all that, though, and then you actually don't ever get anything. That would suck so much. All right, I'll go ahead and wrap up there, though. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.